Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Kacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Desatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachanam Pangum Nangate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurun Dinatarine. Hare Krishna. Today we'll see verse number 22, chapter 18. So we are in the flow of Krishna is telling the knowledge, three types of knowledge. So knowledge in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. And knowledge is the one of the ingredient of any action. So action starts with knowledge, object of knowledge, and the knower. So for any action, before actually we start that action, before doing the action, there is always some subtle thinking or certain willing or certain level planning is going on. And after that, only the actual action, that gross action we can see by the senses. So this is knowledge is impacting the action there. So how is your knowledge about this material world? Based on that, you will do the actions related to that particular mode. So let us see the tamasic knowledge. Yattu Krishna vad ekasmin.
Yattu Krishna yad ekasmin.
Karye saktam ahitukam.
Karye saktam ahitukam.
Atatvartha vadalpam cha.
Atatvartha vadalpam cha.
Tamasam udarutam.
Tattamasam udharatam.
Okay, so
Yattu Krishna vad ekasmin. Karye saktam ahitukam. Atatvartha vadalpam cha. Tamasam udharatam.
Yattu Krishna vade kasmin karye saktam ahaitukam atattvata vade padalpam cha tattamasam udahritam.
translation and purport. And that knowledge by which one is attached to one kind of work as the all in all without knowledge of the truth, and which is very meager, it is said to be in the mode of darkness. Purport: the knowledge of common man is always in the mode of darkness or ignorance, because every living entity in the conditioned life is born into mode of ignorance. One who does not develop knowledge through the authorities or scriptural injunctions has knowledge that is limited to body. He is not concerned about acting in terms of directions of scriptures. For him, God is money. Knowledge means the satisfaction of bodily demands. Such knowledge has no connection with the absolute truth. It is more or less like knowledge of an ordinary animal, the knowledge of eating, sleeping, defending, mating. Such knowledge is described here as the product of mode of darkness. In other words, knowledge concerning the spirit soul beyond his body is knowledge in the mode of goodness. Knowledge producing many theories and doctrines by dint of mundane logic and mental speculation is the product of mode of passion. And knowledge concerned only with keeping the body comfortable is in the mode of ignorance. So very interesting words. So in the mode of goodness, one equal spiritual identity that person will see in all the bodies. So like in every body there is soul. So there is one common factor in all the living entities, which is the connecting that person understands by knowledge. In the passion, at least there is understanding that okay, in everybody there is different soul or spirit, and when the body dies, that spirit also dies. So that is passion. But here, in the ignorance, actually there is no knowledge of the spiritual thing, uh, no scriptures, nothing. So they may not believe in the soul also. So it's just bodily level of consciousness. And uh, how is that consciousness? Just to keep my body comfortable. I should be happy. My body should be good. I should be healthy. Uh, That type of consciousness. This word, Yattu Krishnavat Ekasmin. So Krishnavat means all in all. Krishna means all. This Krishna is not Krishna, right? It's Krishna. It's all. Ekasmin means one. And the Karya Saktam Ahidukam. So without any cause, one is attached to that. So there is one more meaning of this is um, because this is at bodily level, and I consider my body as all in all, and I'm attached to that body. So interestingly, we use the word selfish, right, in our conversation, or sometimes describing some people. We say, oh, that person is very selfish. So what is that word actually? Selfish means what we actually say, the person who cannot think of anybody else or anything else. He only can think of himself and his requirement. uh, and to fulfill those requirements, he don't care for any other thing. So that's what we use when we describe selfishness. So this verse actually connects there, right? Because of the ignorance, we cannot think beyond the body. So we cannot think of the soul in the body also. We only think of my body and my desires. And so what happens because of this, we do very things which are not as per the scriptural instructions or scriptural recommendations. Uh, so that is ignorance. We cannot think of anything else beyond our desires. Uh, so that is mode of ignorance. So that type of knowledge is actually mental. It's not mental also, it's body level. At least the mental speculation that was discussed in the passion, there is something above the body, right? Because mind is above the body, intelligence is above the body. So in passion, at least the discussion goes to the subtle elements of the body, that mind, intelligence, and ego, that level. But in ignorance, the discussion never goes above the mind. So now, sorry, not about the body, just my body and my happiness and my requirements. That's it. And mostly we focus too much on our own comfort. Selfishness or just thinking about our own um, happiness is mode of ignorance. So, and Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that in the material world, almost all people are born in the ignorance. So what? So we don't have the knowledge of the reality. So what is this body? What is the soul? What is the spiritual practice? Who is the goal? What is the goal of our life? How to achieve that goal? No knowledge is there in the ignorance. So we all start from this level, and as per our previous karmas or previous activities, we saw in the 7th chapter, Krishna told that once you start the bhakti, it will never go waste. You will continue this in the next life. So based on our past karma, we will get opportunities to connect with the spiritual things or the devotional things. So by that though we are born in the ignorance, somehow or other, our that consciousness of last life is awakened by Krishna, because Krishna gives remembrance and forgetfulness also. So Krishna will give that remembrance, and then we'll start the activities again. So the ignorance is slowly brought from ignorance to goodness. Slowly there is journey towards the good knowledge in goodness. So by that, actually, the spiritual progress begins or is maintained. So if you have only knowledge about your own body, so whatever the actions you will do, because knowledge is the beginning of action. So whatever action you do, so for my bodily comfort, what is needed, that will be my object. And that's what I will think. So when I talk about action of this, before the action, what I will do, I will just plan about the things which are related to my body, and that will give me comfort. So those actions also will be in the mode of ignorance, because of the ignorance of the knowledge. But if I am in passion, I have different philosophies in my mind, because I have studied the scripture. So I try to use my mind and interpret the situations and interpret the meanings of the scriptures as per my understanding to suit my action. So that is passion. And in goodness, we know that what is the reality of this world, and the aim is not just to uh, be at bodily level, but try to go to space. So there is always chance of spiritual progress. So here Krishna has now explained about the three types of knowledge. So then Krishna was supposed to um, mention about the action. So action contains knowledge as one ingredient, and then doer is the other, and the senses. So prakriti, right? So now Krishna has to explain about the three types of action, three types of doers, right? So that is what discussion will go now in the next three verses for action. So let us see those verses tomorrow. But and so because we have discussed about the knowledge, now we understand like in what type of knowledge, what type of action will be done. Right. So we'll see that tomorrow about the action. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Any comments? Anything anybody would like to speak? Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for joining, and we'll see you tomorrow with the next verse. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.